Hello and a very good day everyone. So let's get started. So in this particular case, what we will learn is we will learn on using Power Query, using pivot table, and also learning the VBA code. As we can see over here, we do have a report that shows the claim date, the employee, the names, we have expenses category, and we also have the amount. So I am actually required to actually produce a monthly report and also a quarterly report. So in this case, what I need to do is I will use Power Query to actually import the data. In this case, what I need to do is, since I save my file, if you see here, I save my file in the desktop. So if you just see under the desktop, 11 January, so this is the file, and under this folder we do have claims report. So this is the folder that I saved. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my Excel file, okay, and I will just press Ctrl N. So when you press Ctrl N, you will notice the Excel file will appear, a new Excel file will open, and then in this Excel file what you'll do is you will just press data. The moment when you press data, what you'll notice is we do have here get data. So under get data, what you need to do is you just click from file, and from file you choose folder. Why we choose folder? Because we want to import from the folder. When you want to import actually from multiple Excel files, you need to choose from folder. So when you choose from folder, you will notice that a box will appear. So this box will access which file you want to choose. Apparently, my file I save in desktop, I save under 11 January. So this is the folder I want to choose. I need to double click this. Over here, we do have the claims report. Bear in mind, you don't have to click twice. When you double click, you will actually go inside. So what you need to do is, you need to actually go back here, select the claims report, and then you press open. Once you press open, you will notice a box will appear. So now this is the box whereby we have this binary data. So what we do is, we just click here, combine and load to. When you press combine and load to, another box will appear. They will ask you which file. Okay, they will ask you which file. So what you need to do is, you need to actually choose the claims, because that is the report that I want to import. So I choose claims. So once I choose claims, then the next step is I press OK. So once I press OK, what happened is another box will appear, because I'm actually importing a data. If you notice carefully, here they will access what you want to load, what you want to produce. Do you want to produce in table? Do you want to produce in pivot table? Do you want to produce as pivot chart, or only create connection? What I want to do is, okay, just say I want to press existing worksheet. So I click this existing worksheet and I press table. So once I press OK, what happened is it will actually import the data in a table format. What you are looking right here is basically the information in table format, because you see here, this is the data. I have a report that has the claims, the employee, the expenses category, the amount. So what Power Query does is, it will actually import the data. It will import the data from a source to another source. What I need to do right now is, I need to press here right click and I press load to. Why I want to press load to? Because I want to actually load as a pivot table format. So I click here load to and I choose pivot table. So once I choose pivot table, I press OK. It will actually eventually load as a pivot table. So when I press OK, automatically, if you see here, pivot table 1. So what I will do is, I'll just tick the claim date and I'll tick the amount. So now you will see a data that shows the amount for the respective dates. So you may ask me, why do I import from folder? Because if you look here carefully, in this folder we have the claims report. So when I go back to this folder, I select the February file and I put inside the claims report. When I put inside the claim report, now I go to my file, I just press right click and I just press refresh. Automatically we have the January data and we have the February data. So now what I want to do is, I don't want to show the date, I want to show the monthly report. So right click, group, Just say I want monthly. I just click on months. I press OK. So it will show me the monthly report. Just say my manager wants quarterly. So I right click here. I go to group and unselect the months. Select quarter. Press OK. So now you have a quarterly report. Just say my manager don't want quarterly. My manager want quarterly and monthly. So right click, group, select the quarter, select the months. You click one time only, then you press OK. So automatically you will have the quarter and month. But just say your manager wants two pivot table, one for quarterly, another for monthly. So what you do is, here you unselect the quarter because we have here monthly report. I'm going to copy this, Control A, copy means Control C, and then I paste over here, Control V. So this one, I don't want the months. What I do is, I unselect the months, I select the quarter, so automatically we do have a quarterly report. Now what makes things interesting is, just say, I go here, I select March, I select April. I put it inside over here, and then when I go back to my file, and then when I right click and I refresh, you will notice right now we have January, February, March. We have January, February, March, April, and here we do have quarter 1, quarter 2. So meaning to say, what we are looking right now is, when we click refresh, automatically it's reporting. So Power Query does the import, pivot table does the data analysis. And what's interesting is, we can also show a pivot table dedicated for the expense category. So I'm going to put here Control A, Control C, and let me just paste somewhere here, Control V. So this one, what I want to do is, I want to show the expense category. So unselect the quarter and tick the expense category. So from here, we can see the expense performance. We can know, okay, what is for traveling and so on. But if just say I want to actually do a further analysis, so I bring the amount, I put in the values. So right now we do have two amount. What I want to do here is, I'll put my cursor over here, right click, your mouse got left click and right click. So what you do is, you press right click, you go to sort, largest to smallest, and just like that, we get to know that travel is the highest claims, mileage, meals, office supplies is the following accordingly. And here I'll press what? Right click, show value as, and then I go to percent of grand total because I want to know the allocation. So when I click it over here, you will see that 62% of the claims goes to traveling. So now if just say I want to go to my file, I go to my claims report. Here we have February, March, April. When I drag all this and I put into my claims, so right now we have January. So now when just say I right click and I refresh, you will notice now everything here quarter 1, here January, here from 60% it changed to 55%. So we can actually use right click refresh. To just click refresh, automatically it will change. But just say I don't want to refresh, I want to use a VBA code. So when I want to use a VBA code, what I need to do is, okay, just say here the name is sheet 1, this pivot table, the name is pivot table 1. I want to use a VBA code to do the refresh. So I go to developer, I will go to Visual Basic. Visual Basic is the place where you can do the coding. So you can use the keyboard shortcut of Alternate F11. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to click Visual Basic. So this is where we can do the coding. So I'm going to click here Insert, and I'm going to click here Module. So what I want to do is, I want to do a VBA code. So sub refresh. Then you press enter. So in this VBA code, I'll write dim ABC as pivot table. Okay, what does it mean is, this dim means is a dimension. Basically, we are declaring ABC as a pivot table. So whenever there's a word ABC, it means it's a pivot table. Then set ABC. Okay, you need to know, since you already declare ABC as a pivot table, you need to know you are referring to which pivot table. I'm referring to the pivot table of sheets. You need to make sure got S, open bracket, apostrophe. So you see here, the name of this worksheet is sheet 1. The name of this worksheet is sheet 1. So I'm going to write here sheet 1. Close apostrophe, close bracket, full stop. So you declare your ABC as a pivot table. Whenever there is a word ABC, it is a pivot table. But which pivot table? Well, it is pivot tables. Make sure you got S, you got 2T, open bracket, ''. So what is your pivot table name? I put my cursor here. I go to pivot table analyze. So over here, the name is pivot table 1. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, so what is this is, it declares ABC as a pivot table. In this code, ABC means pivot table. But which pivot table? Pivot table 1 of sheet 1. Then what I want to do is, I'll just click here, refresh table. So what does this VBA code does is, it refresh the pivot table 1. So if you want to see your pivot table got error or not, your VBA code got error or not, you just click the start button. So when there is no error, that means it's okay. How to know whether my VBA code got error? Just say I write here no S, just the word sheet only. So when I click here, automatically there's an error appear. So you can't run your VBA. So this is how you can determine. Just say I put here, okay, so this one I put here S. Just say I put here no S. Okay, I put here no S and I run, automatically got error. So this one will tell you where is your error. So here I need to put S. Just say I never put here ''' and I run the VBA code. So still got error. So you need to make sure that here this doesn't have any '' and so on. So how to know your VBA no error? When you click the start button over here, continue. By right, if there's nothing, no any warning pop up, that means there's no error. So what is this VBA means? It means this code, normally any VBA, okay, you can write a '' here to give an explanation. So any VBA normally will start with sub. What is sub? Sub means sub procedure. Sub procedure. So you have to make sure. So what is sub refresh? Sub refresh means the name of this VBA code is refresh. The name of this VBA code is refresh. So you need to make sure the name doesn't have space. You cannot make sure, you cannot have a space. Make sure there's no space. Then what is dim ABC? Dim is a short for dimension. Another word is dim is basically means declaring. So what we are declaring? We are actually declaring that the ABC is a pivot table. Meaning to say, we are declaring ABC to be treated like pivot table. So whenever there is ABC, ABC is a pivot table. That's how we declare. Alright? Then what is set ABC, sheet 1, pivot table 1? Meaning to say, we are telling the VBA to treat ABC as pivot table 1 of sheet 1. So just say you change the name. Just say I right click here, I change the name to dashboard. I change the name to dashboard. So what you need to do, you need to make sure you change here also dashboard. So I'll change here dashboard. So the name here you see dashboard, here also dashboard. So it will follow if you got put space and so on. So just say when I click here, so if you see there's no error, it should be fine. Okay, so when there's no error, that means the VBA is working. So that means it's telling the VBA to treat ABC as pivot table 1 of the dashboard worksheet. So basically, ABC is the sheet 1 dashboard pivot table 1. Then what is ABC refresh table? It means tell the VBA to refresh ABC or to refresh pivot table 1. So that's what the code does. So now what is interesting is, just say I go to insert, I go to shapes, I click this box over here, and this box here I put here refresh. I press here right click, I go to assign macro and I refresh. This is the refresh. I press OK. So now what happened is I need to click somewhere else. So when I go to my folder, so now my folder got only January file. Just say I bring February, March, April. I put it inside here. Now when I go to my Excel file, And when I click refresh, what happened is all the things are being updated accordingly. Alright, so that's why you use VBA code to do the automation, even you want to export to PDF or you want to send an email as well. So now we have the data over here. What I want to do is, okay, let me just do some adjustment because I don't want to send this report to my manager. So I'll just insert some rows. Okay, let me just close this and let me right click this because I want to move somewhere. So I'll just move it somewhere here. Okay, so now we have the code. So this pivot table, maybe I'll write down, but of course we don't show this to our manager. This is to show monthly, month-on-month performance or monthly performance. This pivot table is to show quarterly performance. This pivot table is to show the performance of expenses category. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to show to my manager not just details regarding monthly report. I also want to show the performance of month on month. I want to show on month difference and also the year to date as well. So I need to insert some columns. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go back here. Okay, so this one here, what I'll do is I'll put it here. I'll put the amount over here. So why we have another amount? Because this one I want to show the difference from. Right click, show value as difference from. I click over here and I'll put here previous and I press OK. So my manager get to know, okay, that means 475 year increased by 955. 1795, that means year is 5700. Why here got negative 3000? The negative 3000 indicates that for the month of March there is a reduction by 3900. And I want to do the amount one more time. Right click, show value as, and this time I want to do percentage different from, and I want to do here previous. So here it will show me the month on month trending. Here will show me in the form of percentage. So you can tell a story that basically it reduces by 68% and so on. Then I can also put one more time the amount. Here I'll do what? Right click, and then what I want is I want to actually show value as running total in. So when I press running total in, so there you go, it will show me, okay, so 4000 plus 5000, you get 10,000. Here is 12,000. How we get 12,000? 12,000 is 4,000, 5,000, and here 1,000, 18 or 1795, you get 12,000. So basically this gives you an understanding what is your reporting and so on. So this is our monthly report. This is our quarterly report. So quarterly report, what I'll do is I'll just copy this and I'll paste over here. Okay, and then this is my expenses. Okay, then I want to do the same thing. So if you want to understand, I put the amount one more time, I put the amount one more time, and I put the amount one more time. So this is how you can play around. And just say I will do here what? Right click. If you want to remember what I did just now, show value as difference from, and then I press difference from previous, I press OK. So if we compare as per previous was 12,000, now is 3,000, so reduced by 8,000. Right click, show value as, and running not running total in, sorry. Right click, show value as, percentage different from, and I choose here previous, I press OK, and there you go. Then one more time, right click, show value as, and then running total in. So now my manager can see, okay, this is the reporting and so on. And yeah, we do have January. So I want to actually make it more beautiful. So I'll do what here? I'll just go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, greater than 0, I put 0, green color. If just say conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, less than 0, anything less than 0, red color. And then what I'll do is I'll just go to conditional formatting one more time, and I'll go to the icon sets. I'll just choose this, and let me just go to the manage rule. So manage rule, we have the rules over here. So I'll just click the edit rule, and here we do have all the sums, and here I don't want by percentage. I'll just put here number, over here also number, and this one I want greater than and I press OK. So right now what happened is, and here, so I'll do the same thing. I press here edit. I'll just click here all cells showing sum, and this one also the same thing. I'll just click here all cells and then press OK. So now when I press OK, automatically your manager can see. Okay, that means here is 4000. Here is got the coloring. So we will do the one more time so that you can understand. So conditional formatting, highlight cell rules greater than 0, I put green color. And then conditional formatting, highlight cell rules less than 0, I put red color. Then conditional formatting, I want the icon set maybe something like this. Okay, so conditional formatting, and then what I'll do is I'll go to manage rule. I click here edit rule. So this one all cells showing, and then over here I'll just put here number. This one is more than 0, and I press OK. And then this one also the same thing, edit. I don't want the selected cells, I want pivot table. And this one also the same thing, I want it to be the pivot table. So when I press OK and OK, there you go, it changes accordingly. So you can do the same thing. I'll just paste here as the format. So this one also right click, or maybe you can go to conditional formatting, manage rule, and I'll click here edit rule. So I want it to be all cells. This one also the same thing, edit rule, all cells, and this one also edit rule. Okay, edit the rule, and I choose all cells. So just like that, when I press OK, so now you can't appreciate. I'll do the same thing also here. Control C, Control Alternate V, paste as format, press OK, and then conditional formatting, I go to manage rule. So here also what I'll do, I click here edit rule, and then all sum, I press OK. Go here again, edit rule, all cells, and then press OK. And the final one, edit rule, and all cells, and press OK. So now what happened is when I press OK, of course you see no changes, but let me show you the magic. Just say I select all these files and I put it down, okay, and I go to my Excel file. The moment when I click here refresh, you will notice right now there are changes. We have quarter 3, we have the reporting, we have the changes accordingly. Okay, so this is how we use pivot table to just 𝗣𝗶𝘃 to just automatically refresh. Next is what I want to show to my manager is I want to show who is the top 5 claims expenses. So I'm going to press here Control A, and I'm going to copy this. So I'll paste it over here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, wait, let me just put it somewhere. So this one, I don't want the expense category. What I want is I want to know the person, which employee. So I want to know the employee name. So I'll just click the employee name. So here we have all. I don't want to know all. What I want to do is value filter top 10. I also don't want top 10. I want top 5. So this is the top 5 data. And over here, so what I want to do is I'll just go here, conditional formatting, data bar, more rules, and all cells. And then what I'll do is show bar only, and I choose blue color. I press OK. So now it doesn't look so nice because of the grand total. You go design, you go grand total, you off, and just like that we can see, okay, 𝗖𝗹𝗶𝘆 is the highest. So right now, if just say I go to my claims report, I select August until March, and I put until the folder here, then when I just click refresh, automatically you'll notice some difference. Here what I want to do is right click, sort largest to smallest, so the manager can see who is the highest and so on. So let me just put it down. So I'll put it down over here. This one, this is to show top 5 claims expenses by employee. Okay, so we have a report. So now what I want to do is I want to make it more beautiful. I want to make my report more beautiful. So here we do have the report. So like you see here, you got January and so on. So I'll just do what? Go to design. You can choose any color you want. So maybe I want this color over here, and I want to change the name. So this one will be monthly claims. This will be month on month claims. claims trending or month-on-month trending. Okay, because my manager wants to understand, okay, this one here months on month trending in the form of percentage. Over here, what happened is I want to show year-to-date claims. Okay, let me just center a line. Okay, so the same thing also, this one is quarterly claims. This one here is quarter-on-quarter trending. This one is quarter-on-quarter trending, but in the form of percentage. Here will be year-to-date claims. Okay, here so I want to change the English. I'll put here total claims. Here I want to change the word to allocation in the form of percentage. Okay, this one here, what I want to know is the top 5 claims, and over here is the performance. Okay, so I want to change the coloring. The coloring is so simple, so I'll just choose this color. This one also the same thing. I want to choose a different color, and this one also the same thing. I want to choose a different color. Okay, so now we do have this report. So just say I go here. Here we have January and February. So I go to my folder. I select March, April, May. I put inside the claims report. Now what happened is, just say when I click refresh, what you'll understand is, okay, the report changes. Now you see suddenly we do have January, February, March, April, May. Just say I do one more time. I go to my report, August, July, June. I put inside claims. When I go here and I click refresh, automatically we have quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. We have January up to August. So how I do again is, let me just show you. Just say I select all these months. I put in the folder, and when I click refresh, you will notice there are some changes. But this is not the report that I want to share to my manager. What I want to do is, I want to actually make a title. So for that, I'll use this as a dummy table. So I'm going to copy this, go here and put it over here. This thing, I don't want the expenses, I don't want the amount. What I want is basically I only want the months. What you see here got January and February. I go to design and I go to pivot table analyze. Sorry, I go to field header. I don't want the field header. I go to design. I off the grand total. So what you see here right now got January, February. So what I want to do is I want to do a title. So here I'll do what? Index. Okay. So index, I'll select this until the bottom. Okay. And then I'll put count A. Count A means will count the number of cells that is not empty. So I'll just select this, close bracket, close bracket. Okay, what it shows is, it will show right now, we have February report. Now you may ask me, what is this report means? So let me just insert one more time, so that you can see clearly. Okay, so I'll just try to go to the O column, Control Shift up, Control Shift left, merge. I put here, claims. Okay, maybe I put the apostrophe. Claims report as of apostrophe N, and I go over here and then N apostrophe space FY 2023. So now you see claims report as of February 2023, middle align, put the size maybe 30 and bold color, and I change this to just say dark blue, change the font to white color. Okay, see claims report as of February 2023. So now when I go here and I select the files, all these files, I put inside over here, and when I click here refresh, you will notice it will change to August. It changes dynamically. So now if just say I go to my claims report and I select, okay, maybe the April until August I put outside, and I just click here refresh, you will notice changes to March. So this is how you can play around. Okay, this is how you can play around and so on. Let me just upkeep because I want to share to the report to my manager. Maybe I put here bold. This one I don't want the field header, so it looks better. This one also same thing, off the field header. Here also the same, I off the field header. Okay, so now it looks a bit better. Okay, so now this is the reporting that I want to actually send to my manager. What I want to do is, let me just put here on the side. Okay, maybe I'll just middle align, center align, increase the size and put it bold, and let me just adjust here. Okay, so here we have a VBA code. Just for refresh, just say you want a VBA code, maybe just say to to perhaps auto fit the column. Okay, so now we roughly understand that this is a data analyst report. I don't want this, so this one I remove. Okay, maybe I remove this one also I don't want, I remove this. Okay, so right now I want to auto fit the column. Okay, so to auto fit the column also we can use a VBA code. What is the VBA code? Okay, so now this is the VBA code. The next VBA code is to auto fit. So sub auto fit 1. So which cell I want to auto fit? I actually want to auto fit. If you see here, the worksheet name here is basically dashboard. So I'll go to the sheets, dashboard. Okay, and over here what I want to do is the range. So which range I want to auto fit? I want to auto fit, just say the range from A5 until O21. A5 until O21. This until this range, until O21 I want to auto fit. So 𝗨 A4, oh sorry, maybe I'll just go to A5. Yeah, A5 O21. So until row O21, 𝗨 columns, make sure got S, and auto fit. So now when just say you run, so it's okay. That means what happen is it will actually auto fit the column. It will auto fit the column. So I'll do right click here and Control D, and this one what I want to do is I'll rename this edit text auto fit. Right click again, assign macro. This one is dedicated for auto fit, and then you press OK. So now we do have a dedicated VBA code to refresh and auto fit. What I want next? Maybe next I want to actually export to a PDF format. Where I want to save a PDF? I want to save the PDF, just say on my desktop folder. So I go to desktop, we have a folder called 6 January. So I want to save over here. So what I'll do is I'll delete all this. This is the folder where I want to save. Whenever I export as PDF, I want to export over here. So I will do what? I'll create another VBA code. I'll create another VBA code. So what is the VBA code is sub send PDF. So to send to PDF, I need to write a VBA code. So what is the VBA code? Well, let me start with dim. Dim is basically declaring ABC as string. So basically I'm telling that VBA to treat it like a string, and then after that dim the file path. If you want to save as a Microsoft Excel or PDF in a different place, you need to have a file path. So as string and then dim PDF. PDF path as string. Okay, next what I want to do is I want to put here ABC equal the sheets. What's the sheet name? The sheet name is dashboard. Okay, and then what is the range? The range I want to choose is range A1. Why A1? Because this is the PDF name I want. Claims report as of March. So I'll just go back here. A1. Why is A1? Because when just say I put my cursor here, it shows A1 cell. So I want it to go to A1, and then what I'll do is I'll put here full stop value. So now this is my ABC. My ABC refers to a value, to the name of the worksheet. Then file path. Okay, file path is equal where I want to save the PDF. I want to save my PDF in my folder. Which folder? This folder over here. So right click and then copy the address. So you need to have a 𝗨. 𝗨, paste this, a backslash, and then close 𝗨. I want to save in this folder over here. Next, PDF path. What is this PDF path? Okay, basically is the name of the PDF. So the name of the PDF is ABC. Okay, but before that I need to put here equal file path. I want to save here, and I want to save the name as ABC, and I want it to be an extension of PDF. Okay, so this is the code. And then what I want to do is I want to actually save the PDF. Which one I want to save? I want to save these details over here. So what I'll do is, I'll just write here, sheets, dashboard, close apostrophe, okay, and then export X fixed format, because we want to fix as a PDF format, and then Excel type PDF. Make sure here must have space, no space cannot. So Excel type PDF, and then comma, PDF part, that is the name of the PDF, and then false, because I don't want to open the file. So now when I run this, okay, when I run this, normally if Jessie got error, it will pop it out. So when I run this, automatically you'll notice here we have a PDF claims report March. When I open this, okay, apparently what happened is it will show me, but I don't want this. I want to actually share a PDF showing the entire report. So what I'll do is, let me close this file. Okay, I'll need to go back here. I need to show to, wait, let me just close this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me just put my cursor over here, Control Shift Home. So it will highlight everything. I go to page layout, I go to print area, I set print area. So basically I want to print this. The width, I want 1 page, so that it print this area. So when you press Control P, basically it will show you this report over here. And I don't want to be in a portrait, I want landscape. So landscape means Control P, automatically you'll see in this format. So right now what happened is, if just say when I run the macro, what happened is, when you go to your PDF, it will override. So when I click this, you will notice now it looks in a better format. So right now what I want is, okay, I don't want this, maybe let me just click this. So I want to create a button whereby I just click here, it will send as PDF. So right click, maybe I duplicate. Okay, so this one I'll just put at the bottom. So the name is, let me right click here, edit text. Okay, sorry, right click, edit text, and I put here update. Update means will automatically update as a PDF. So right click, and I go to assign macro, and I choose here send PDF. Okay, so now there you go. So automatically it will send as a PDF. But what if just say I don't want to send as PDF? I also want to actually send an email. So you can also use this VBA code to send email as well. So I'll put here what? Dim. This one, if you have Microsoft Outlook, will be great. So DEF as object. Object means is a third-party application. And then dim XYZ as object. Okay, so what is the DEF? DEF basically is Microsoft Outlook. So set DEF to be create object. So create object means what object? A Microsoft Outlook. Outlook application. Okay, there you go. And then I want to set XYZ. Okay, XYZ is what? Basically, it's a Microsoft Outlook. So DEF, as you see here, DEF, and then create item. Basically, I want to send an email. Okay, so this is the code. And then after that, what I want to do is with XYZ and with. There is a VBA code. When you start with means you must end with and with. So what I want to tell is, I want to tell to the VBA code to send to who? To send to this person, 𝗥𝗲𝗪96@gmail.com. And then what is the subject? The subject is, I want to say that maybe it's a claims report. Okay, then I want to send the body. Body means maybe I want to put here, hello and a very good day. And then maybe I want to put attachment. Attachments. Add. And then after that, I put here PDF part. And then after that, I want to show here display. Okay, so this is the VBA code. And then we have an sub. So right now, just say I press here F5. When I press F5, what happen is, it will show me an email to this particular sender, claims report, and attaching the file as well. And we also have the body message. So meaning to say, we can use Power Query to import the data. we use pivot table and conditional formatting to do the data analysis. That means what we did was we use pivot table and conditional formatting to do the data analysis, like year monthly, year quarterly, year is top 5, and year maybe I want to show the claims, okay, claims by the total claims and allocation. So the interesting part is what we can learn from here, meaning to say, if just say I go to my report, I select April, May, June, I put inside this report. When I put inside the report, I go here, when I just click refresh, automatically it will show me June. We have Nisha, we have treble, and so on. And then when I click auto fit, okay, it's auto fit properly. Then what I want to do is just say I click here update. So automatically it will show me the June report. But what if just say I want to send? I don't want to show display, I want to send. If you want to send, you need to change your VBA code. So just say I go here, I go to the send item, I want the send to be here. So what I need to do is, instead of display, I put here SEND, send. So right now what happened is, just say I just select the July and August, and I put under the claims, and then when I go here, I click here refresh. So right now we have August, auto fit, and just say when I click here update. When I click here update, what happened is it will not display, because the code says what the code say? Send. It will send the email. Meaning when I go to my email, over here we have an email that we have already sent. So if you have a Microsoft Outlook, you can do this automation. So what we learn in this particular case study? In this case study, we learn Power Query to import data from a folder. We learn to load as pivot table. We learn to do conditional formatting to show the data analysis, data presentation, and we learn VBA code to do the reporting as well.